Health Mondays ignite the spark. Hope guides each step, even in the dark. New week, new dreams to see. Hope's the key to what's meant to be.
Good Monday, everyone, and thank you for joining me on Mental Health Mondays with Hope. I am Hope, and I don't know if you noticed our background this evening is different than we usually have because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I would like to talk about the emotions that and the mental health that goes along with that. So I have a wonderful guest with us this evening. Her name is Honey Grunberg, and she is a breast cancer survivor and an advocate. So I would like to welcome Honey to us. And I you know that I always say that, I always say, I love saying hi, Honey. And I'm sure you get that from everyone. So I sound very, cliche because I get the high hopes all the time. But so, Honey, welcome. I'd like to start the show with doing positive affirmations with my guests. And I start with saying I am and ask them to say something about themselves. I am what, Honey? Honey is what? I am. This is all for you, Honey.
Okay.
What are you? I am what?
I am a survivor and a positive person who's trying to make a difference for others. And I'm also on the board of the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition and founded the Pink Light Walk originally in Stroudsburg, and do a lot of breast cancer things.
Right. So give us just some background about Honey in general. Like what, who are you outside of breast cancer? Who's Honey?
Sure. Outside of breast cancer, if you want to go back, like, 30 years or so, I had moved here about 33 years ago from New Jersey, and I ignored my health and concentrated on my kids. And after 6 years of not going to a doctor, I went and discovered I had breast cancer, and that was part of my journey. I was diagnosed as triple negative breast cancer.
And I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. So could you explain that to everyone?
Yes. Triple negative breast cancer means, that you have breast cancer that doesn't respond to any hormones. So because of that, it's very difficult to treat. It's more common in young women. And the diagnosis isn't as good as with other breast cancers.
Right.
But,
now, I'm sorry, when you say young women, give me like an age range there. What are you talking about with young women?
I think usually women under 50.
Okay.
Under 50.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 44.
Okay.
I was 44. Hope, I'm having an echo. That's what's confusing me.
Oh, gotcha. I thought it was because you heard the heard the music. Is your phone still on? That could be it.
I'm going to try to shut my phone off.
Yeah, and especially if you have the live stream on, if you have the live stream on, it could be echoing from that. How's that? Is it me echoing or you echoing? Or both of us?
I think both of us, but I think it's you're echoing.
I'm echoing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo. I mean, we have a delay.
Okay.
Should I sit back a little bit? Let's give that a try.
Okay, so let me try doing this better. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
So Okay. So I ended up with triple negative breast cancer, which means that it's breast cancer that doesn't react to hormones. So older women have less estrogen, so they can get rid of any extra estrogen that's in your bloodstream. But for women who are young, you have so much estrogen in your bloodstream that there's nothing they can do really to get rid of it.
Okay. Sorry, I got a suggestion from our engineer for you to turn your volume down. That might help.
Okay.
We're all learning technology together.
Okay. How's that?
I wasn't hearing an echo at all. How about you?
Okay. So anyway, I went to get treatment, and I was negotiating a contract with AstraZeneca, who makes drugs. So they recommended doctors down in Philadelphia. I enjoyed the journey actually because I went to all these big stores and rewarded myself with, really good dinner or lunch after treatment. I planned my treatment on Wednesdays because the art museum had like a whole program on Wednesdays, so I could go and see art and music and great food at the art museum. So it wasn't such a horrible experience, except for 6 months of chemo and losing my hair,
Right.
um, and then surgeries. But I guess
So
about a year afterwards, it was more like, oh my God, I had cancer, and that's when it really hits you when you're so focused on concentrating on what you're doing that you don't really have time to worry about having the cancer. You're just focused on getting through it. So
right.
afterwards, I joined a support group, and after that, after about 2 or 3 weeks, I was facilitating the support group. Because I had gotten my degree in social work, but I hadn't really used it. I had gotten into business. So
Right.
I started the support group. Then we involved with the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition. We had an exhibit here, 67 women in 67 counties. And I've been volunteering with them ever since.
Right. Right. So you just said that it kind of didn't hit you because you're in the moment. Um, but was there an initial reaction? It sounds like the breast cancer that you had was, not your run of the mill. Was there an initial reaction on your
Yeah,
part, an emotional reaction? And then also, what about your family and your loved ones, your caregivers?
yeah, I think that yeah, I was scared, and I had a stupid nurse when I went in, and I said, "Oh, I'm young and healthy." She's like, "Yeah, but young women don't do as well," which
Oh,
was the
nice.
stupidest thing to say. Um, and I think I felt like I could get through this, but I was a little concerned. Like I put more stuff in my husband's name. Before I used to own everything because I was the person who would sit at motor vehicle for hours. But I own everything again now. I had put it in his name, but now I own everything.
um, so you said you did six. First of all, how many years has it been that you're cancer free? Let's celebrate you.
27.
Congratulations. Congratulations. That's wonderful. I love it. Now you said that you had chemo. Is that the treatment that you had, chemo, or was it?
I had
Was it a
chemo. I had
combination?
a mastectomy. And then I quit smoking on the day of my mastectomy at 6:30, 6:15. I had to be there at 6:30. And I subsequently had reconstructive surgery.
Okay. Now, can I ask, did you have both breasts removed or
No,
just one?
just the one.
Okay. A loved one had breast cancer, also a younger woman, in her 40s, and she only had it in one breast, but she opted to have a double mastectomy. I mean, it's been 27 years for you. Do you see, because you are so very involved still, is that something that people are doing more often now, or, was she just being really, really careful?
I think it depends. Like they can nowadays they can actually test and see how you're going to respond to the breast cancer. So sometimes there's a small cancer, but it's very aggressive, or sometimes you could have a large tumor that isn't as aggressive. So they oncotype your cancer to find out, how it's going to respond. And for some women, particularly women who have the gene, one of the things that they do is recommend a double mastectomy, and also removing your ovaries.
Right, right. I mean, this was a family member, and we do have breast cancer in our family. Both grandmothers and also our mother had breast cancer, but we don't have the gene. So it's something it's just very interesting to me. I mean,
Yeah.
as a social worker, that's one of the questions. And I did my research in geriatric social work just before genetics came into play. And now, so then the research was in genetics. And if people were to get genetic information, how would they use it? And then also, how would the insurance companies use it if they could? How do you feel that, again, because I don't know if you had genetic testing 27 years ago, I don't know what they had. Do you feel that the people that you work with, do they lead their lives differently, knowing that they either tested for, or did not test for the gene?
I don't know. First of all, it's a good idea to test again for the gene, because they're discovering more and more genetic components as time goes on. I didn't have the gene, and I did do testing, but it was a big debate on to whether I was going to do the testing or not. I, didn't want it to affect my children who wanted to have children, and force them to make a decision they might not be ready to make.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
But now I think it's really important because as a person who has a breast cancer, it's important that my kids know my genetic makeup, for the future.
Right, right. And if anything, I mean, it's just that, they can possibly get tested sooner. I mean, because of my family history, I get not the ultrasound, but there's like a level higher than the ultrasound versus a mammogram. I forget what it's called. But, because of my family history, that's the one that I have. And all of my sisters,
Right.
because of the history. So let's talk about chemo a little bit.
I want to just go back to this. This is a shout out to the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition, because one of the things that we did was get coverage for genetic testing and follow-up MRIs or ultrasounds for people who were at high risk or had dense breasts. Yes. We got that passed, and that was one of the things that I'm most proud of, because I really stalked Mario Scavello to get it out of his committee, and he was really happy to do it, and was grateful, because everybody shares a breast cancer, story or connection in some way.
Right.
Subsequently, we got it passed to do like the genetic testing and things at no cost. But there is now a new bill that's passed unanimously in the Senate called Senate Bill 88. And what that's going to do is cover diagnostic mammograms which is different than just a routine screening. And it will also cover diagnostic MRIs and ultrasounds at no cost.
That's
We
great.
got it through the Senate, and now we're trying to get it through the House, and we're hoping to get it done in October so we can get a lot more notoriety. I did
Right.
go to recycling so I could see Jack Rader.
Did you
and
bend
convince him
our
to,
state reps here? What did he did? Hopefully
he said he's going to support it.
great. And you know, if we can reach out to State Representative Madden and
Yes.
State Representative Probst as well. But I, you know, knowing them, I'm sure they're already on board. But we can certainly reach out to them and make sure that we get them to sign on to this. I'm impressed. Let's go political for a second. That you got it passed in the Senate. So you know, that's great. You know, the Senate things seem to get stuck in our PA Senate. So kudos to you. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks. No, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
When we got the first bill passed, I was in the galley with my husband, and Mario actually turned around and thanked his constituent, and everybody turned around and clapped for us.
Yeah.
Who were waiting in the galley. It was like watching your kid graduate.
Right. And you've done amazing things. I mean, we're in the same community. I know this podcast, is everywhere, but we are in the same community, and you've done amazing things for our community, but also for the women of our state. And if other state coalitions are paying attention to Pennsylvania, hopefully, you have kind of tossed some of your energy over there via the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition, and other states are following your lead. So thank you so much. When that first bill was passed, did that include clinical trials at all? I don't remember. Sorry.
I don't think it included clinical trials. But one important thing to know about going back to genetic testing and all these things is people were worried about doing that in the past because they were worried that their employers might find out and your insurers might want to drop you. So there's all sorts of protections now against that. So that's a good thing for people to know.
Right. And that's something I think the National Association of Social Workers, the Pennsylvania Association, had worked on as well, to make sure that insurance companies could not hold that against you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we were actually, Pennsylvania was the first in the nation to pass legislation like that. So I'm really proud to be part of Pennsylvania and the coalition for all that they've done.
Absolutely. You should be. There's so much, like we see in October, everything is pink. You and I are pink today. And, there are other cancers out there, but everything is a sea of pink. Do you feel that the recognition, either like the commercial recognition, the football teams wear pink, how do you feel that has come across educationally to women, to everybody? I was talking to an oncology nurse last week who said that, and she included breast cancer, not as much, but she included breast cancer when she was talking about reproductive cancers with women, that she has patients that come in to her and they still say, oh, I didn't realize that was a sign. I didn't realize that was a symptom. Do you believe that all of this commercial notoriety for breast cancer awareness is just that commercial, or do you see it making a difference?
I think that both. I think there are people out there who just want to make a buck off of breast cancer. But there's also, wonderful fundraisers that happen that, fund research, and the research, helps people with breast cancer, but it helps people with all sorts of cancers. Um, People relate to women having breast cancer. And if there's a lot of pink and they're aware of it, and it's October, and it means that we can find a cure through all the research that happens, it's worth it, because the goal of the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition is to find a cure now so our daughters don't have to.
Right. And what about men and breast cancer?
Men do get breast cancer.
I mean, I think it was still like about 10% the last time I looked at it. Have those numbers changed?
I think it's been pretty steady. I don't think there's a higher incidence with men.
Right. Now, I know that, we're going to get a little personal. I mean, not personal toward you. A lot of times they say, yes, breast cancer, we're supposed to do our self breast exams. But a lot of times a lump is noticed by a partner, the same as a testicular lump is noticed by a partner. With men with breast cancer, is that, I mean, I don't know if that would be the same. Like how are men finding that they have breast cancer, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think they find it the same way with a lump.
Yeah.
Or a change to their breast. And they have mastectomies too. There was actually a picture, I think, on Facebook today of men with breast cancer.
Oh, I'd love to see the pictures of, like the mastectomy pictures with men as well. I've seen the ones with women and they're beautiful. So I would love to see the ones with men also. And that to me is a great education for men.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love it because, this is a mental health podcast, and, we're talking about everything about breast cancer, which is great education. How can we, which I know that you do because you are an amazing advocate, how do we help other women and men through the journey emotionally? I lost my best friend, not to breast cancer, but to lung cancer. And it is definitely a process for the individual that has it, but also the family. How do we help them get to be strong enough to help themselves emotionally?
That's a hard question, but
I know, sorry.
I think just offering to seriously mean it when you offer to help. Like, I remember my friends sent their daughter to take me to BJ's shopping because I couldn't lift heavy things. And, that meant a lot. But on the flip side of that, my brother called me almost every day. And that can be like very frustrating. So I think support in, just being there, talking to people, but not all the time, taking them out. Like one of the best stories I have is my boss let me work from home. And then he made me come in the office once a month. And the first time I went in the office, I'm like, I'm here. What do you need? And he's like, I need you to go to lunch. I wanted you to get out of the house.
That's great. I love it because, you can sit and you can wallow. And, one of the things that I tell people if they're having a rough time, get up and shower and get dressed. Even if you don't leave the house yet, you're not there yet. Get up, make your bed, shower, and get dressed. And, things do look a little different once you've showered and gotten dressed. I mean, even for me, like I've gone through my own things, not cancer related, but definitely like mental health, and just getting up and getting dressed. That's great. And I also am a firm believer. A lot of times don't have the right thing to say. Sometimes I say the wrong things. Sometimes I don't have anything to say because I don't know what to say. And I've felt like even for myself, and I've done this with other people, and I say, I don't know what you need. I don't know exactly what to say, except I love you. I'm here for you. Scream, yell, curse. There's nothing I haven't heard before. But until you need something, I'm just going to sit here.
Yeah, I think sometimes listening is more important than talking.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
we're gonna take a quick break, honey. Okay.
okay.
And then it sounds like what's happening is that you're getting the delay, and I don't know why that's happening, but it sounds like you're getting a delay from us. So we're going to take a quick break, commercial break, PSA, and then we'll be right back. Okay. Honey Gruenberg, we're talking breast cancer and mental health. All right, we're back. Mental Health Mondays with Hope. That's me and my amazing guest, Honey Gruenberg. She is a breast cancer survivor and a breast cancer advocate, educator, social awareness, everything. A breast cancer guru. I bow down to you. We were talking about, things that we can do to help people. And you and I are very fortunate that we are involved in an amazing event together here in our community. Like you said, you were one of the organizers of the Pink Light Walk for breast cancer awareness in the East Stroudsburg area of Monroe County. And then we brought that to the west end of Monroe County where we reside. And what's really cool about this event, and I think other communities may have similar events besides like all the 5Ks and the fundraisers, which, we do need the money for research, is ours is just an awareness event and an opportunity for people to get together and just be, and just be, like, have a support system. And I just think that's an amazing thing that we get to be part of. And ours is actually tomorrow night. Yes, it's amazing. So if you live in our West End community here of Monroe County, that is tomorrow at 6:30. I always forget. 6:00 at the American Legion, post 927 in Gilbert. There's no charge to attend that. It is just a breast cancer awareness and support event. Who's our speaker tomorrow, honey?
I'm not quite sure. I know that at 5:30.
Is that 5:30? Well, yeah.
The doors open.
Yes.
And Carmilla does her warm up at 6:00.
Yes. We have an amazing group of women who have organized this for over 2 decades now. And, and it's just to get the community together. People who are survivors are there. Caregivers are there. People who want to come and remember their loved ones who were lost to cancer also come there. And it is an emotional event. I'm typically like the class clown though. I mean, I think people have kind of gotten used to me being the class clown because I like to take the tension. I like to take the tension away, and be super silly. And that's my role there. And I'll take it. But when we're there, people look to you, for support. Like they look to you for support. You are like Mary Chandra. And, to me, like that's and for people that don't know our community, she's someone else who we lost to cancer, not to breast cancer. Who again was like Honey. I remember doing a Relay for Life with Mary, and I brought a woman who was a breast cancer survivor to the survivors dinner. I walked her over. She wasn't even going to come. She just had twin babies that weren't that old, and her husband had left her. And it was just like, my hair is standing up, getting goosebumps just talking about her. And I remember, like she came, she was so nervous, and I brought her over to the tent, and I'm like, Mary, this is so-and-so. And I said, she is newly diagnosed. And I had already talked to Mary about her, and I just love what she did. And these are the things that you do. and other women out there who are ready to be advocates, who have gone through this. You set such a great example of that. Is Mary just took her by the arm and she's like, come on, let's just say her name was Sue, come on, Sue. And I remember as they walked away, she just turned and looked at me. She's like, I got this, Hope. And it was beautiful. And like I said, my hair is like standing up. I have goosebumps because, we all know someone, but we don't always have the necessary tools. But I'm not a breast cancer survivor, but I have lots of family members who are. And, and sometimes I can do as much as I can do, but I'm honored to be able to pass them to you and say, you know what, this is the gal you need to talk to right here. Is that putting pressure on you?
You know what? I like it. I just feel like there's so many people that we've touched over the years, and it's like a sisterhood almost. And we now have, in Pennsylvania, we're trying to have representatives of every county in Pennsylvania. We had a breakfast with all the county captains.
Right.
I'm like, you can always tell when it's a breast cancer call for me, because I'm on the phone for an hour and, we're laughing as well as, having like sad moments, but mostly laughing and trying to be upbeat about something that maybe isn't so upbeat.
Right. And when I was with the American Cancer Society, I attended your breast cancer support group that you held at the hospital at the time. And I mean, that was just tremendous. And, that would be something that would be so amazing, to have more of in our communities. Are you still doing support group?
No, I think that I'm not doing the support group anymore. I know that Breast Friends has a support group. Part of what happened is one of my friends who didn't survive, the ladies in the support group were kind of taking turns being with her. And the support group became more of like, focused on her. She was an amazing person, Terry Dunlop. I mean, that's the other part of cancer you don't realize. I remember, this is kind of a funny story. I was cancer control chair for Relay for Life, and I had a booth that had all this cake and goodies in it, and all these little boys started running in like they're going to steal all this food. And I'm like, stop, this is for cancer people. And they're like, we are cancer survivors. They had childhood cancers back then. Hope, I think I might have lost you. I hope I don't hear you.
There we go. I'm glad because I was singing. No. Yeah, that can definitely throw you off. I met one young lad who is a cancer survivor not too long ago. And it kind of throws you off a little bit. And is that, do we look at that differently when it's a child as a society? Cancer with children. Do you feel that we look at that differently as a society?
I think you feel so much worse when it's a child than.
Yeah. And I know some of these questions I'm asking you are just speculation, because that's just
my brain. As a mother,
works.
I can imagine, what parents go through when it's their child.
Yeah. And I have a friend through the midget racing, the midget cars, the racing cars. who lost their son to cancer and was part of the whole racing movement. And, and I was there as a food vendor. So I knew this young boy. And what I saw with him, and another little girl who I remember, gosh, years ago, we had a fundraisers for her at the Legion, who I've been told that I believe her cancer is back now. And it's been over a decade. But it's their resilience seems to be different than ours. And I think it's maybe because like they just don't know. And, like we've lived life and we've seen, all the negatives, and like kids, I think like they just don't know. And it really depends on their support system around them, how they're going to react to having cancer. That's just my observation. I don't know. There's nothing, no research to back that up, but I just feel like we can learn a lesson from kids a lot of times because they just seem to be much more positive with things. Like this little boy was in tremendous pain all of the time, and you would never know it.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, let me ask that. Like, was there a lot of pain? Were you in a lot of pain? Either like when you had the cancer, I mean, after surgery, I would think, but like with your treatments, was it painful?
I didn't know anything about the cancer. I didn't feel any different. I felt a lump. It was a big lump. I felt it like I was traveling throughout the country doing sort of a sales seminar, and I felt like it was getting bigger in every state.
Oh boy.
And then when I came back and got diagnosed, the doctor immediately said, "Oh, go next door to the next day and get a mammogram, and then go visit my friend, the surgeon." So I sort of knew that things were probably not going to be
right.
I guess the reconstruction was kind of painful.
Okay. So may I ask why did you choose reconstruction?
I was very busty.
Okay.
And I didn't think it would be good to have one big one and one small.
That's fair. It'd be like a cyclops. But that's fair.
And I guess, I liked the idea. And I did actually get a reduction on the other side.
I was going to ask that, but I thought
I do kid around that I have the perkiest breast for a woman in her 70s.
That's great. I love it. Oh, speaking of that, I don't know why my brain went here. What do you think of when, like, especially like on college campuses, they have the Save the Tatas? Like, I mean, as a feminist, there are a lot of younger feminists that were so like, opposed to that because it was, what's the word I'm looking for? But it was, oh my gosh, sexualizing the woman's breast. Go ahead. I'm just looking for your.
I don't know. It gets attention to the kids, and if it gets attention and they check themselves, and it's a cool thing, like save third base or second base. Second base.
Right.
I forgot what third base was. Sorry about that. We should save third base.
That's a different show. So yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I kind of agree with you because if that's what gets them in the door to have the conversation, it can't just be a, hey, save the tatas, run around, collect money. There has to be something in the like the outcome of that. Besides the fundraiser, should be an educational component. I've always felt is very important.
Yeah.
Now you said that you felt a lump, and that if any of the women or gentlemen who are out there watching this have never done a self-breast exam, listen, I'm sure you can YouTube it. Everything's on YouTube. And if you haven't had a mammogram and it runs in your family, please do that. But not all breast cancers are felt by a lump. So what would you say about that? I've had people say to me, I didn't even have a lump. I went to do my annual mammogram and they're like, whoop, there it is.
I guess
Right.
that's why you need mammograms.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I will have all that information at the Pink Light Walk.
Great. Wonderful.
Um,
Wonderful. Now, are there still free? There are free are there free mammograms, like the baseline
yeah,
mammograms? Is
there
that a
are
program that still
mammograms
exists?
for uninsured and underinsured people. I have that information at the Pink Light Walk as
And
well.
and if for people who are listening from all over the state, the
If
country,
you go to pabreastcancer.org, we have lots of information about resources.
great, great. I mean, it's just everything is
One of my friends started an organization many years ago called Feel Your Boobies. And they've been very successful and had all sorts of, fundraisers and T-shirts. I had one of their T-shirts, but I really felt funny about wearing it out.
we should all get them. Yeah.
Yeah, feel your boobies.
It's an attention grabber. And then, that's
It
gives you the
was.
opportunity to
And
talk
it
with people.
was basically for young women.
Right. Right. And I mean, they just, they don't necessarily understand. Again, going back to that oncologist, the oncology nurse that I spoke to, saying that even some of the breast cancer patients that came in never did a self exam, a self breast exam. And I know even for me, I'm kind of lazy with doing that, and shame on me,
Mhm.
and because I remember probably, gosh, I can remember like one of the first times, going to the gynecologist and doing the breast exam. And they said to me, do you do a self breast exam? And I was like, what's that? And I mean, and luckily, I mean, I was young, and luckily they weren't jerks, because then I probably would have never gone back. So if you work in this field, please remember there are people who, it doesn't matter if they were young or they just might not understand that maybe they never had anyone teach them these things. And I remember the nurse that taught me how to do the self breast exam and then had me do it there for her, like in front of her, so she could make sure I was doing it right. And that was tremendous for me. We all learn differently, and I am definitely a tactile learner. And for me, I don't think if somebody would have just like did it or told me how to do it, I don't think I would have learned how to do it. But I'm definitely, I don't do it as often as I should. And shame on me for that. So it's October, ladies and gentlemen, let's start a pact. Now, how often would you suggest that people do their self breast exam?
I'm going to say that I'm not that good too.
With that?
I think you're supposed to do it monthly
Okay.
and at the same time each month, so that you sort of know what your breasts feel like at certain times, because your breasts do change, like especially in younger women, when you're like due for your period, they may feel more swollen. So
Right.
pick a day, like the first of the month or the 15th of the month, or
Right.
something that you do it every month at the same time.
Right. Right. I think that's a great idea. And, setting your alarm to do your self breast exam.
I think your thing should say pabreastcancer.org.
Okay. Kendall says thank you. He's going to correct that. So we are the PA Empowerment Network. I didn't say that earlier. And we are a channel on, we have our channel is on YouTube. And this program, along with all of the other Mental Health Mondays with Hope, will remain on YouTube. And we will send you, when we're finished, we'll send you a link. That way you can share it with everyone. And, we share it. And, if we were able to teach anyone anything tonight, that's great. I've always felt like if I can share my experiences in life, if one person is helped by that, I mean, maybe tonight somebody else is saying, yeah, I feel kind of stupid not knowing how to do a self breast exam. So, maybe I need somebody to actually show me. And now I don't feel so awkward asking about it. It's important that if we can educate someone and they can educate someone, and so we'll make sure that website is corrected, and if it's not already, and then that way when people are watching the replay, they'll go ahead and see that. And you can also subscribe to our the PA Empowerment Network. That way you can catch all of our upcoming and everything from the past that we've done. But you've done podcasts before, correct? I'm assuming you have.
Mhm.
Yes, because you're a woman of many, many hats.
I know.
And you were in the 67. What was the name of that? It was
67 women in 67 counties. Is our photo exhibit, and it's people throughout the state. They're representatives from every county.
And is there someplace online that people can still view that?
I believe you can see it on our website.
The PA Breast Cancer Coalition?
Yeah, and I know we've had the photo exhibit here
Right.
several times at the library. We had it. The first time we had it was in 2000 at the Stroud Mall, which I learned that there's a man who goes around at night and pops balloons so that they don't affect like the alarms at the mall.
I did not know that.
I know, you learn all sorts of things when you do exhibits.
Because there were balloons tied to the displays with that. Oh, that's too much. Like, who took our balloons? Hey, I love it. I love it. So we are coming to the end of our program. Is there anything else that you would like to share that maybe people who are just diagnosed might be helpful for them and for their family, their caregivers?
I think you have to be your own advocate, and you need to not be afraid to stand up for things, stand up for yourself. It's one of these times where you can make yourself the most important person.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
say that, I had a doctor, they didn't want to release my films they don't do films anymore, but back then I needed films to take to my breast specialist. And they're like, well, we can give you a copy. I'm like, I want the originals. They're like, well, the originals the copies are just as good as the originals. I'm like, great. Then you keep the copy and give me the originals.
Right. And
I never would have done that before breast cancer.
And
it
I know
really made me stronger and made me more of an advocate.
Right. And I know this was supposed to be our ending note, but I have to add, I feel, and I've seen this, I have a friend that's going through it, not with breast cancer, not with cancer at all, is that sometimes when we try to stand up for ourselves as women in the medical community, we are still overlooked. We are still not taken serious. We are overreacting. It's psychosomatic. And I have to say, like, honey, like you said, it made you stronger. Ladies, especially gentlemen too, with breast cancer, the doctor might be like, stick to your guns and stand up for yourself and demand, what you want and what you need. I feel that's really important. And, if you feel that you don't have the strength to do that yet, we're going to send you to Honey. Or at least to the PA Breast Cancer Coalition. But if you're here in Monroe County, we'll send you to Honey. So I want to thank you, Honey Gruenberg. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Breast cancer survivor, 27 years, and breast cancer advocate. And we will see you tomorrow night in Gilbert, Pennsylvania at the annual Pink Light Walk for Breast Cancer Awareness. Thank you for joining us here on Mental Health Mondays. My name is...
we have lots of cool baskets for our raffle.
Oh, yes, we do have a raffle. We do raise funds, and it is to make contributions to the firefighters, to the Breast Cancer Coalition, to the venue, and things like that. So yeah, come on out, and there's always some great baskets. And I have a painting of my own paintings that I'm bringing again this year. So thank you again, Honey, and everyone else. We'll see you all next week. Have a great week.
Sounds great. Thank you.
We out.